Peace, what's happening, family? It's your favorite info plug, RD Muhammad. Let me make sure my mic is on. My mic is on. You guys should know that by now, if you're following me, have been following me, this is a rarity that I uh, come on and do a live other than Monday, and especially this late. As you can already tell, I'm out working the private luxury business tonight. Has to bring some clients down here to South St. Pete. That's neither here nor there. But this has been nagging me all day. This has been nagging me all day. And it was not, it was more or less a why question. With all of the information that people have access to, with all of the influencers, and you have a plethora of influencers, including myself, that's giving people information on how to start a business, how to properly structure your LLC, how to properly do your paperwork. Now, I don't know about the other ones, but I teach my clients how to properly file their taxes, how to the things that they can leverage and write off, how to buy a free car, how to rent your house from yourself, and I've touched on in the earlier part of this year about becoming privatized citizen. Now, I am veering away from privatization, and I'm focusing more on how to disappear. That's going to be a podcast for another day. But this was what was actually ruffling my feathers. There are so many people out here on social media, on the internet, wherever you're finding them at, that's giving people so much information on how to the value, even the value. Now, I'm not saying that none of this information is wrong. Now, some of these people aren't living the life that they trying to put out there. They just out here to get your check, get your money, and pretty much you can. With all of this going on, it's kind of hard to believe. Well, it's kind of hard for the individual that's listening and wanting to do it, who is telling the truth. Because I know that some people have come on my threads and they'll say, well, so and so is saying this. I don't know anything about their system. I can just teach you what works for me. And that's what I do. After doing this for the past 12 years, the life that I live now, I lay out a format of how I started. And once I started, it just started snowballing. Because one thing that I did learn was put yourself around the right circles. Put yourself around the right circles. My advisor told me to, he said, Cowboy, find somebody's lifestyle that you like and you do exactly the same thing they did. See, wealthy people will give you information if they know you're not wasting their time. Now you guys understand why I don't allow nobody to waste my time. Time is expensive because once time is gone, time is gone. But I said, with all of this information out here, and with all of the information and the free game that I give people on my platform, over, and this is a guesstimated number, over 85% of the people still haven't gotten out the starting block. So it's like, why? You have the information. I know even from podcasts to reels to content, I have told people how to start the business, how to structure the business, how, I mean, but this is the problem. Over 85% of the people starting the business is not the problem. They don't know what business to start. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the problem. This is what's keeping people at work because they don't know what business to start. Uh, um, I have even made fun of we don't need another detail shop. We don't need another barber shop. We don't need another hair salon. We don't need another nail tech. We don't need another nightclub. You you can't reinvent the wheel. So what I have been doing all day is I started researching low cost businesses to start that will maximize your money. Now, now I'm going to do this as a series, kind of like how we did the Matrix series, Escaping the Matrix. I'm going to give you guys not just low cost businesses to start, but these businesses are what we call evergreen businesses. Evergreen simply means it will sell all year long. Some businesses are seasonal. Some businesses are just based around holidays. Some businesses are based on how the market is moving, and or like wedding event planners. Now that's a evergreen business because people are getting married all year long. So are funeral homes. Funeral homes are evergreen business. But here's the thing: when out of 9 businesses that I have, 9, I only have one that was my passion, and that was the very first business, the leather business. Now, even after having that business since 1995, all the way up to 2014, 2012, 2014, somewhere around there, I really didn't even have a business. Now, not only that, I didn't have the information to properly structure it, properly set it up. It wasn't even an LLC. I just had a business license. I've shared the story with y'all before. But when I started getting the right information, that business took off. So the question became, well, where did the other 8 come from? I am a firm believer in move with the money at the speed of opportunity. And those other 8 businesses are evergreen businesses. When my advisor told me to write the book, I created a publishing company, self-published. And with the success of my first book that made the hot new sellers list on Amazon, that changed the trajectory of everything that I started after that. Then came the advisory business or the consulting business. That's when I started putting a system together of everything that I had been doing up until that part. And as I kept learning, I kept adding to the business. How to do promotion and marketing on social media platforms, how to build and do content creation. Then came the podcast. Then came the public speaking. Well, no, that's reverse. First came the public speaking. Then came the podcast. Now, y'all want to know a business that can make you money forever? Start telling your story. Now, I'm gonna, and during this series, I'm gonna lay all of this game out. But um, I'm gonna start giving you guys a evergreen business. Now, these businesses that I'm going to give y'all are $200 and less to start them. That's including your EIN number is free, your LLC registration. That's including creating and with a logo, coming up with the name, the colors for your business, the title that you're going to be using, so you can properly start the process of structuring. But first, you need to know a business that's going to make you money. Now, they are low cost, $200 or less, but here's the kicker. And if you do exactly like I'm going to explain it to you, it's $3,000 a week. And that's not stretching. You guys have heard me talk before and say the magic number in the business world is $10,000 to $15,000 a month. That's what your business needs to be generating. Well, matter of fact, I'm not even going to wait. I'll go into more in detail on the podcast come Monday, but I'm going to tell you one business right now, and it's less than $100. But if you do it right, number one, if what you're going to do is you're going to go to a landscape supply company. Go to a landscape supply company, and you are going to buy one or two. Now, I say if you got $150, go ahead and buy both. Now, this is where we're getting up to the 200 because this is your equipment. You're gonna need a backpack sprayer. Swear to God, a backpack sprayer is all you need. You can get that from Harbor Freight for $29.99. Then you're gonna go to your landscape supply company, and you're going to get 1 gallon of each one of these products. You're gonna get 1 gallon of paver sealer. PAVER SEALER. Paver sealer. Now you want to make sure that you get water based. So it's the semi-gloss. Most semi-glosses are going to be water based. High gloss or high sheen is going to be oil based. Now, I'm not telling you can get oil based, but that's going to take a little bit more knowledge on why I'm telling you not to get. Well, put it like this: water based, you can spray plants and it won't kill them. Oil based, if you spray that oil base on plants, it's going to choke the plant out and the plant's going to die. So here's what you're going to do with that paver sealer. You're going to go around your city looking for homes that have rocks, whatever variation of rock they have, whether they have river rock, whether they have gray granite, whether they have Black Canyon granite. Black Canyon granite, I love that because it looks like Oreo cookies, crushed Oreo cookies in your yard. But anyway, whether you have marble chips or whether you have Mexican beach pebbles, or if you're down here in Florida, I don't know why these people are fascinated with seashells in their yard, but seashells are everywhere down here in Florida, especially South Florida. But now, that paver sealer is not designed for rocks. It's designed to spray pavers. It seals the pores in the concretes of the pavers. And some of them, if you're doing a paver driveway, it gives like a gloss finish on the pavers in the driveway. Flower beds, you can spray those, give it it's basically just to seal and keep the algae and the dirt from going into the pores of the concrete. So if you guys ever seen cinder blocks that's been sitting outside, that dirt has through the air, flying through the air, has gone into the pores of the concrete. Concrete is porous. So that's why you have to seal it. But this is what we found out. When you spray paver sealer on rocks, it turns those plain rocks into a polished rock. Now y'all see where we're going with this? Now, here's the thing. This is an evergreen business because even if you are in a state where you have a true winter, all right, the process of the deterioration of the sealer on the rocks is absolutely slowed down because the heat during the summer months, the warmer months, the heat causes the enamel, and the weather causes the sealer to wither away. It's kind of like putting clear fingernail polish on your fingers. It's not going to be on there forever. Over a period of time, you're washing your hands, you're touching your bumper stuff, you got to redo it. So as it is with these rocks. But now, if you're in a state to where you have a true winter, that's when we switch over to the other product, the mulch glue. Now, mulch glue, rock glue, shell glue, it's all the same stuff. Now, again, in the winter months, where if you got snow on the ground, this is what you do as part of your business. You go cover up that mulch and keep the snow and the ice off of the mulch so the mulch doesn't speed up and start breaking down and deteriorating. Mulch is just wood chips shredded up. Some people use pine bark in their yards. Now, getting back to the business, what you're going to do is go to every house in your city and you're going to tell them this is what your business does. You are into landscape rejuvenation. That's the core basis. Now, I'm not going to tell you to name your business landscape because that'll box you in on the SIC code. You don't want to be boxed in on the SIC code. Name your business some abstract name that don't mean nothing. Apple don't mean computers. You ever think about it like that? Amazon started out selling books. But what does Amazon have to do with books? What does Amazon have to do with anything that they sell on that platform? So, and I've had clients that overthink the name of their business. They want it to be something. Whatever you do, don't name the business after you. We'll get off into that on another time too. Now that's some people's big infatuation. They want their name on everything, especially in the melanated community. We want everybody to know that's ours. But it's a setup from the eyes of the government because now you just married yourself to that business when we want to disappear. Own nothing, control everything. Now, so with the paver sealer business, you're going to spray that paver sealer 2 times a year. One time in the spring, one time in the fall. Now, the price point is based on your area, your community. Here in Florida, I charge $150 per treatment. So basically, what I do, I put all of my customers on a 1 year deal. So they pay $300 up front. They don't even have to be there. They're already on the calendar. And I just go out there and do my thing. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When you break that down, let's just start with the $150. A yard that has, let's just say, a total of 5 yards of uh, uh, rocks or mulch, that's going to take 1 cup of sealer to treat and spray all of those rocks. Because all you do is spritz it. Psst, 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 psst. That's it. I've showed people how to do this business, and they go out there and they try to wet the rock. Even the rocks that's under the bottom, nobody's going to see those. They only going to see the top. Now, your pitch is This is only for homeowners who want to enhance the curb appeal of their home. I even slide it in, try to make them feel, not make them, yeah, I try to make them feel bad. Now, don't do this if you don't care nothing about the curb appeal. But here's one thing that I know about people, especially in these subdivisions or in these big dollar homes. No, everybody competes to outdo the other one. Think about it. You cut your grass, I guarantee you before you get done, you're gonna hear two or three other lawnmowers on your street cutting their grass. Nobody wants to have a bad looking yard. If you got a bad looking yard, that makes your house look bad. Okay, how much money you spend on it? So that's the thing. So when you go to the home, you want to pitch and say, hey, look, you're the first home that I come to. I want to make your yard the envy of the whole entire block or the whole entire neighborhood or the whole entire subdivision. Most people, when they doing landscaping like that and they bring in rocks and stuff in, they don't even know that they can polish the rock. Now, here's the bigger part of that game. The landscaper who installed it don't know. Because what did I tell you about paver sealer? It's not designed for rocks or shells. It's designed for pavers. So this is how you're going to take from their business in the landscaping department. Because a homeowner, and then uh, 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 um, again, you're going to spray it twice a year. I don't want to reveal too much. Just giving you an idea. Now, we got $30 into the backpack sprayer. Paver sealer is going to run anywhere from $65 to $75, depending on what city and state you're in. But you can definitely look for it's $70 down here in Florida. Now, that landscape supply company is your first trade line because you're going to go in and set up a contractor's account. Huh? Now, when they send you that invoice and then you pay the invoice, that's reporting to your DUNS. Evergreen business, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's break these numbers down. You're charging, let's just say, if I was back home in Gaston, Alabama, I wouldn't charge 150 in Gaston, Alabama. I charge 65. Now, the average yard with 5 yards from rock is only going to take 15 minutes to treat, to spray. 15 minutes. 15 minutes, $65. Boom. Now, it's 4 quarters in a dollar. So you got 4 15s in an hour. Your job then is to set up 4 houses every hour. And you just bop it from boom. You just going from here to there. $65 every time. Bow, 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 bow. Now y'all can see where it's gonna come up to be $3,000 a week. You got 65, you charge $65. Let's just say you do 10 houses in a day. That's only 2.5 hours of work. You done made $650. Now multiply that times 6. I work 7 days a week. I don't take no days off. But some people they ain't gonna do it. But 650 times 6. Somebody please do the multiplication on that. Isn't that not $3,000? I don't care how small your town is or how big your town is. The weight is on you to get out there and find the yards. And when new customers see that their rocks are glistening and shining now, This is what we call it, landscape rejuvenation. You just gave their whole yard a new look, and all you did was went out there and sprayed the treatment on the rocks. You can spray it on shells. You can turn shells into a polished shell. Works on all rocks, shells, all hard surfaces. If they have those brick edgers, now this is just extra gravy on the biscuit. Pour them 1970 brick edgers out them folks' yard and put them down some real edgers. It's just updating their yard. You can charge for that. You can charge for that. And then there's going to come a time with that homeowner, they're going to ask you, well, do you do landscaping? Bing! Business number two. See how that works when you start something, when you know what to start, it leads to something else. Now, landscaping and cutting grass is two different fields. You have a lot of people out here that's thinking they are landscapers, and all they are is grass cutters. Landscaping applies to the flower bed, laying turf, laying irrigation system. So in the first go around, while you just out there treating rocks, building up to that $3,000 a week, and all you got to do is get out there and go look. Ooh, that's a yard right there. They got rocks in it. Go out there and knock on the door. Hey man, I'm Robert Muhammad with Landscape Rejuvenation, and I see you got some rocks out here in your yard. I'm going to even tell y'all how to get your sales pitch because you only got 2 to 3 minutes to hook a homeowner into becoming a customer. So don't be out there um, uh, uh, talking too much. This is how I got my sales pitch down before I started seeing how to do it myself. I don't have a problem talking to people. I had a problem with explaining what I do in a short period of time because information overload, the same things that you guys have been facing, information overload, you will talk yourself into a job and then talk yourself out of it because the customer's just like, oh my God, I got too much to think about. 2 to 3 minutes. This is what you do. You go to Chat GPT, AI. You tell the AI what you want done. And you speak to the AI in third person because you are telling the AI to pretend to be you. You understand? And then you tell the AI, I need that condensed down into 2 to 3 minutes. You don't want to be standing at no homeowner's door, especially in the summertime. You don't want to be standing out there no 15, 20, 30 minutes trying to explain something. And no, hit it and go to the next one. Hit it, go to the next one. We have to, in the initial part of your business, you got to learn how to utilize your time wisely. We're not fishing with a fishing rod. We're throwing a net out there. Now, while you building up your spray and treatment business, you can spray that mulch the same way. Now, with the mulch, you telling the customers, um, I know you have a problem with leaves going into your mulch when they cut your grass. You got grass clippings in your mulch, and then when they come through with those blowers, they blowing your mulch out there in the yard. That's a loss. What we do, we apply a product. Don't never tell them what the product is. We apply a product to your mulch. So if leaves, grass clipping, anything goes in there, now they can come through with that blower and blow it out, and you don't have any loss because the mulch is all glued together. Now, same principle. You just spray the top. When the top is glued, it holds down everything up under it. So you don't have to go out there and soak all of the mulch. That's product waste, which is a big problem with new businesses. They don't know how much product they losing. And that's money. That's money. I just told one of my workers, I said, bro, I said, if you spray a quarter out of that gallon jug, if you spray more than a quarter out of that jug, you done sprayed too much and you owe me. Because all you got to do is spritz it. Think like if you had a spray can. You spray one way, you spray back the other way, then you move. Spray, you hit it twice. Boom, boom, and keep moving. Now, $3,000 a week, $12,000 a month. That's the sweet spot for a small business. Then when you multiply that by 12 months. Now, and I kept touching this, while you're doing your spray treatment, you need to be learning about landscaping. Because in a year's time, this is what we call scaling your business. You don't want to be out here spraying forever, because the way to make more money is you got to add another feature to the business. So while you're out here spraying, you got 10 houses sprayed, you done made $650. Now you take the rest of your time and educate yourself on landscaping. I would say landscape design. Now, landscape design and landscaping is two different businesses. See, this is how we build. Landscape design is the one who lays out how the yard is going to look. And y'all won't believe how simple that is. Google Earth will give you an aerial photo of that house. All you gotta do is type in the address. That's it. Print that out, and then you can take a Sharpie or a marker. I'll take another piece of paper out and trace the house, and then trace the yard. And then now you can start designing and laying out. Graph paper is the best way to do that. I didn't know nothing about landscape design. Not a thing. But that's another business that I created. So now I have the rejuvenation business, and then the landscape design business is an offshoot of that. That's two businesses. And then when I want to grow again, now I'm adding the landscape company to do the work that the landscape design company created. And then I follow that up with the treatment company to treat all of that product that I just put out there in the yard. Y'all know what just happened there? Your money is going in a circle. Three different companies, three different checks, but all coming to the same person. That's how we do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the people's problem has been. Nobody has laid out what to do. I don't care if your trade is cutting hair. You done peaked. You done topped out. Do something else. Move with the money at the speed of opportunity. That opportunity door ain't gonna always be open. It's not always gonna be open. That's how I grew 8 other businesses. That's how All of them, I'm pulling money from. This is what they call in the business world, your portfolio. No successful person has only one way of making money. They got their hands in several different things. Then from the lands, once you get to the landscaping company, now you're educating yourself on how to do irrigation, what flowers or what plants or what grass is native to that community, because the grass that grows on the west side ain't the same type of grass that grows on the east side, huh? Everybody, you can't plant fescue in any type of soil. Some yards may be on red clay. Some yards may be on black dirt. See what I'm saying? Then you got to keep educating yourself, learning how to balance out the pH in the soil. All of that's learning. And as the more you learn, watch your money keeps increasing. And then once you hit a level, now you got to start another business, because that education, that information that you're going to get is going to take you to another place. I love this life. And listen, this is why y'all tune in to me, man. Y'all tune back in on Monday. This is going to be a series. I'm going to do it for 4 weeks. I'm going to be dumping you guys evergreen businesses that only cost you $200 or less. And the goal is to hit $3,000 a week. If you don't hit $3,000 a week, what you learn about yourself is you just lazy, because it ain't the business. It's you. Money is easy to make. I can give people a job sleeping. They'll wake up and quit. You gotta get away from them people. They ain't gonna do that anyway. I'll see y'all on Monday. And if you listen to me, man, I'll be right here waiting on you, man. When they say it's lonely at the top, it's lonely at the top. And no one person can make all the money. My question to you is, why aren't you trying to get your cut? Fast money, leave fast. Build you something that can't nobody take away from you. Peace.